Hey guys, so Netflix picks and more. I cannot believe it's been over a month since I have done one of these Netflix picks videos. If you're not familiar with the concept, I basically just come on and talk about things that I would recommend that you watch on Netflix that I really enjoyed. Today I'm going to be including a pick from another streaming service because if you buy an Apple device, you get a year of Apple TV for free. So we have Apple TV now for a year. Um, so yeah, so I'm going to include that too for those of you that may have Apple TV. All right, let's just get right into it. I'm going to begin with what I just finished watching last night, season 3 of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. If you have never seen that show, if you're into horror and anything in that genre, then you might like this show. It's about a girl who's in high school and she lives with her two aunts and her cousin because her parents are both deceased. And the girl that plays the lead role, Kiernan Shipka, she is a fantastic actress. Before she got this role, she was most known for playing the daughter of one of the lead characters on Mad Men, but she was only a child then. And I think she may have had roles in between that, but probably just smaller parts in movies. But yeah, she's such a good actress and she is perfect for this part. And I think she is a big part of the reason why this show is so good. Although there are other people on this show that are also very good. I love both the actresses that play her aunts on the show. Lucy Davis plays Aunt Hilda, and Miranda Otta plays Aunt Zelda. And then she also lives with her cousin, who is Chase Perdona. I can't read my own writing, sorry. And he plays Ambrose Spellman. And I feel like I've seen a big improvement in his acting through the course of 3 seasons of this show. I mean, he was good in the beginning, but he's really like grown into the part now. And I think he's not that much older than Sabrina, if older at all. He seems to me like they're both about the same age. This is a show that you're going to be sort of rooting for the villains too, though, because Michelle Gomez, who actually plays two characters on the show, she plays Mary Wardell and she plays Lilith. She's a fantastic actress as well. And also Richard Coyle, who plays Father Faustus Blackwood. These two characters are they're the type of villains that you don't want them to get killed off because you enjoy watching them so much. I don't know if it's just me, but if I really like a particular villain on a show or the way an actor is portraying it, yeah, I don't want them to get killed off because I would miss them if they weren't there. And that's the way I feel about those two. But the hardest working actress on the show has got to be Tati Gabriel, because not only is she on The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, but she's also on The 100. I don't know how she does it, because it's, just enough to be on one TV show, but she's on two. So they must film in different, the time schedule must be different. They must be filming at different times of the year. Although, if I'm not mistaken, both of these shows are filmed in Vancouver. So it's possible that, nah, she couldn't be working on two shows at the same time. That doesn't seem realistic. But yeah, this show is very good in the way it covers witchcraft and magic, and it's a very dark themed show, though. So it might be too scary for people who are under a certain age bracket. I would say it'd probably be good for anybody that was high school or older, but I don't think any kids that were younger than that would be able to grasp the total concept of it. And I feel like maybe it might put parents in a difficult position to have to try to explain something that they may not even completely understand themselves, because they get into it pretty deep on this show. Okay, so if you've already been watching the show and you just want to know what I think about season 3, I was so impressed with the storyline this year, because at first, if you don't want any spoilers, then I would say don't watch the rest of this video, because I really want to talk about this. I was so impressed with the idea of what they introduced this year and how they introduced it. Because on the surface, the carnival comes to town. And at first you think it's just going to be carny people. But it's so much more than that. These people are not just carnival workers, they are pagans. And they are pagans who worship the old gods, the gods that people worshipped before Luciferian Satanism came around. And one of the characters actually plays one of the gods, the god Pan. So this is some heavy duty stuff, and I just can't believe that they even brought this into the show, because I feel like they already had their hands full just with the whole Satanism aspect of it. So kudos to the writers for this show for really taking on something pretty big that I don't think has ever been done in a TV show before. So yeah, very, very interesting. And then I think they had another element to that too that I wanted to talk about that escapes me at the moment. But then towards the end of the season, they start bringing in time travel. And man, that, that gets kind of complicated in and of itself, but I thought they handled that really well too, because at first I thought, oh, now it's just going to get silly. But it really didn't. They did really well, and the way they left it off, that storyline is going to get thrown into season 4, which I think they're almost finished filming now, so then they'll start getting into the aspects of that. And I don't want to say any more about that, because just in case you couldn't help yourself and you watch this video anyway, there are aspects of that that would be too big of a spoiler to include in this video. So we'll just leave it at that and say there's time travel involved. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is a show that's on Apple TV. So like I said, we have Apple TV now for a year. So I watched The Morning Show, which is a show starring Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, and I don't know how to pronounce this next actor's name, Billy Crudup? I don't want to say Crudup, that doesn't sound right. I hope that's not how you pronounce it. I'm going to say Crudup, I don't know. It's C-R-U-D-U-P. I'll just tell you right off the bat that he is my favorite. I think the character that he plays on the show is the most interesting and charismatic character on the show. This actor has been around for a while, but this is the first thing I've ever seen him in, and I don't know, there's something about him that I was really drawn to. I like this actor a lot. But yeah, Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon are the two big stars of the show. And what's weird is I watched, when I had HBO for a while, the streaming service. I've since canceled it. I felt like it was way too much money for what it was. But I just saw Reese Witherspoon in Big Little Lies on HBO. And I wasn't really crazy about her character on that show. And this is just a perfect example of somebody who can be a really good actress, but they're only as good as the part that they're playing. Because on this show, on the morning show, she plays such an interesting character, and she plays it really well. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. So the reason why it's called The Morning Show is it's a behind the scenes look at a fictional rendition of a morning show on a national level, something like the Today Show or Good Morning America or that type of thing. And Jennifer Aniston. Oh, I forgot to mention Steve Carell. Steve Carell is one of the other big time actors that are in this show too. So it's Jennifer Aniston and Steve Carell are the anchors of this morning show. And Steve Carell's character is accused of sexual misconduct. Now there's this big thing, an investigation, who did what, who said what, who knew what, and it sort of touches upon the Me Too issue that was all over the news a couple of years ago because of Harvey Weinstein and all that. And so they're tackling that subject. And it's not as cut and dry as what you think, because this is something that's really prevalent in American society. And it's kind of a touchy subject, I feel like, for a lot of people, especially men. And because in the workplace, a lot of times there is this sexual tension or people flirting with each other. And some people feel that it's harmless and it's just part of everyday life. But some people feel like it's something that makes them uncomfortable and they wish that it didn't even happen. They just want to go in and do their job and not even have to deal with this. So it depends on how you look at it, because on the other hand, some people feel like it makes work a little more interesting and less boring. And yeah, it's a tough thing. My husband and I actually met each other at work. And if the rules had been stricter, maybe we wouldn't have even ended up getting together because, as it turns out, it just, some places just have really strict rules about employees dating each other. But yeah, so but that's how I feel like a lot of people have the opportunity to meet each other is at work. Because if you're not into like dating services, or you don't have friends of friends who can sort of play matchmaker, this is where you spend all your time. So it just makes sense that you have the potential of meeting your future spouse at work. But anyway, this show is not something that I would normally watch. It's what would be considered to be a drama, and I don't usually watch things like that. I usually watch things that fall under the category of horror or science fiction or action or fantasy. Those are my four favorite kinds of TV shows and movies to watch. So this was something that I normally wouldn't watch. But because I got this free subscription to Apple TV, I felt like I wanted to watch something on there. And instead of going for the type of things that I would normally go for, I thought, no, let's watch something different. Let's step outside the box. And I didn't think that my husband would want to watch this show in a million years, but he happened to come into the living room one day when I was watching the show, and he just sat down and he said, I'm not going to watch this. I'm just sitting here for a few minutes. I'm like, fine, whatever. So he started watching it, and then he said to me after the episode finished, he goes, how many episodes of this have you watched so far? I said, that was the second episode. He said, okay, so I'm only behind on one episode. He said, yeah, I think I'm going to watch this with you the rest of the way. And I was so surprised because he doesn't normally like dramas either. But it was something about the way they presented this show that it really held your interest, because a lot of us have seen these morning shows. And even if you don't watch a national morning show, maybe you watch a local one, and maybe you always wonder, what it's like or what it could be like behind the scenes of these shows. And they show you like the day-to-day operations of how things really work. So it was very interesting, and I would recommend this show. And I just want to finish up today by saying that I watched 2 movies on Netflix, both of which I had very high expectations of, and both fell short of my expectations, and I didn't like either one as much as I thought I was going to, and that is The Irishman with Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Harvey Keitel. There was tons and tons of huge names in this movie, but it was 3.5 hours long. I broke it up into 2 days. I watched half of it one day, half the other, because I can't sit in a chair for that long of a period of time and focus on something. It was good, don't get me wrong. It was good, but I don't think it was great, and I don't feel as if it deserved an Academy Award nomination. The other movie I watched that has been around for years, and I had heard such great things about it, and I expected it to be great because people said it was great, but it fell short for me, and that is Inception. I love Leonardo DiCaprio, and I have never seen a movie that he was in that I didn't like. I think he's a fantastic actor, but this movie fell short for me because it's something that deals with oh man, this is a complicated subject. It deals with like reality and recognizing what is real and what is not, and newer technology that puts you like in an altered state of consciousness where you're on a different like plane of existence, and yeah, what is real and what is not, and should we even be playing with this type of technology? But it was interesting, but I don't know, I just felt like it was disappointing and it could have been better. The actors that were in the movie were great, but yeah, the source material was a bit lacking for me. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section what you think about anything that I just said. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.